before we jump into some of the main course, I guess, of the agenda, we thought we'd share just a quick, just a little bit into we were talking about what do we do for Christmas, or what were highlights from our year. And so we're going to share just a couple photos and go around and share a quick update. I think that this is the right screen. All right, slideshow. So welcome to this year's Fireside Chat. We're grateful to be hosting with you and with each other. So for me, my highlight, I sent my oldest, Ella, to Baylor. She's a freshman. And I shared with some of you, we went on a whim skydiving. And so this is us literally, right before this, we had been playing disc golf and Ella goes, let's go skydive. And I said, let's do it. And so literally the day before she left for Baylor, we went and made some great memories together. And we jumped out of a plane right next to those clouds up there. It was awesome. That was definitely a highlight for me. But I'm going to pass it over to Adam.
All right. Thanks, Ross. Yeah. So one of our favorite Christmas time traditions is going to visit family in Tennessee. And we just got back yesterday from that. It's where my dad's family is. We get away to the rural Tennessee area farm, much different than our city living, and just relax. Get to see people we only see once or twice a year. And it's always cooler, which is always a bonus around Christmas time for us. So it's usually a short trip, but it's always memorable seeing family. They won't be around forever. So Morgan?
Is that the right picture, Morgan?
I think that might be the wrong picture, Ross.
I didn't tell you I was putting that in there. This is literally from our team Zoom or whatever. This is how Morgan showed up. No editing or anything. This is it. It's crazy.
So this year was awesome. This summer, I had the opportunity to baptize my 12-year-old boy, which is obviously awesome by itself, but we just kind of did it on a whim. I mean, he didn't do it on a whim. There you go. But we told our friends and family kind of on a whim that we were going to do it this weekend. And I wish I had the other picture, because we had almost 40 people from, just community and church show up to support him while he got baptized. And I just was blown away by the community that many people took time out of their day to come watch him. In one more quick baptism story, I'll stay on point here. A couple months ago, I watched my daughter baptize her best friend. So that is so cool to be able to see, your daughter start to do the same thing. So it was definitely a cool year. Who's next?
I think I might be up. So
You're up.
Hard to believe, but Charlie just turned 1 in this left photo. So that is us in front of our one Christmas tree, Hayley. It takes up half of our New York City apartment. And then on the right, Ross kind of alluded to me being a little busy. So we actually took a long weekend trip to Alaska. Got back yesterday morning. This is me on a glacier, on an iceberg that had broken off a glacier. We went out snow machining to the middle of nowhere. It was so much fun. We went to see some very dear friends that moved to Alaska 2 years ago, and we're celebrating a big milestone birthday. So Charlie went along. He did awesome on the flight, and we had a blast. So that was a highlight for us. And then Ross, I think. Oh, Hayley. Yeah, sorry.
We had our little caboose this year, our little girl, and so she's about 9 months old now, and her 2 brothers are just so in love with her. We went to see Santa. This was a couple of weeks ago, and obviously she wasn't a fan at all, but the boys, I mean, as soon as they saw him, just immediately started like rambling off things that they want for Christmas. Funnily though, when we got back home, our 4-year-old Liam, he was heartbroken and devastated because he forgot to tell Santa about something, and he's like begging us to go back so that he can tell him he wants some airplanes, and he forgot to tell Santa. So we're going to go see Santa again tomorrow night so we can track him down and make sure that he tells Santa in time.
That's awesome.
That's really funny. That's great. Well, welcome. So here's our agenda for our time. we are going to share just a quick update on what we've been up to since we've seen you, or just kind of overall from the year. So I'll share a little bit about that. You'll hear a tech update from Adam. Chris will give some more commentary on that later. Morgan's going to share about our launch of TouchPoint Giving. Chris is going to unveil, can I say what it is? We have a big mobile release. It's a don't miss thing. So he's going to share about that. And I think you're going to be really excited. We were super excited. We've been working on this really hard. And then Hayley's going to wrap up with a few special announcements that I alluded to earlier that hopefully will encourage you and be things that you are excited about as well. So from looking back the year in review, I mean, this is a time of year when we stop and, the holidays were busy, and I think about the song about comfort and joy, right? I think that's there for a reason, because we have, some of us are going through hard times, or our family members, and it's also a time of just, there's nothing more, joyful, or that we celebrate more than the birth of Jesus. And so it's a time of busyness and all of that, but we've been, we love what we do. We've had some really meaningful conversations with some of our church partners who've reached out to us for prayer and stuff like that, which makes us just feel part of the family. So we've loved it. We have a lot to be grateful for, which I'm excited to share with you. So I'm going to try and keep my overview really quick, because I know that you probably are most interested in seeing some of the things that Chris and Adam and the team are going to be sharing. So I'm thankful and grateful to report back to you that our growth has just continued to be steady, and our partnerships with our churches are strong. I'm not going to share, the only numbers I think I'm going to share with you are one that really blew us away as we looked at it. We kind of were approaching the end of the year, and we've shared with you, one of the metrics we watch closely is churn, is what it's called in technology. We look at retention, and I've shared with you before, like, software companies strive for 90% retention. Our goal is to hit 95 or better. We just ran the numbers for this year because we're approaching the last week. Morgan, is it okay if I share this?
I love it. I'm excited.
All right. We're excited to share with you that we have over 99% retention, which is crazy. And what's even crazier, when we dug into the numbers, the churches that have decided to go somewhere else, I'd probably do the same if I were them. They were all very small churches, and they're just other solutions that are great for really small churches. We hope we don't lose anybody, and we want to be a good partner to everybody. But our out of the hundreds of churches that we serve, the number of medium, large, and large plus churches that we churned was 0 this year. That won't be forever. It's never happened before, and it may never happen again, but we're giving thanks that it happened this year. And so we're grateful for that. We don't take it for granted, and we don't take you or the great work that you do for granted. We see what we do as ministry, and so we're excited. Looking back at the year, I think about a highlight for me was Summit, being together in Austin. We had a great turnout, our best turnout yet, and so it was great being face to face. We've talked and shared a lot about that, but I think we share because we get so many ideas when we're together from you, and it's a place where we can just grow deeper in our relationship and be able to spend time face to face and talk about technology and talk about the kingdom and talk about our families and all of that. And we cherish it. So you'll hear a little bit more at the end, I think, about Chicago. Summit is going to be in Chicago this year. And we really hope that you'll join us. We just passed the 6-month mark of being a part of CAS Information Systems. And for those of you that were at Summit, I shared with you, we didn't want to join CAS because they were publicly traded, which automatically means that they were not right for us. And Morgan was the one who called me and said, you might want to give us a shot and get to know us. And I'm really glad that you did, because it's been great. It's been great. I've loved it. Our team, I think everybody on the team is working harder than they ever have. But I know that the work that we're doing is meaningful. I'll share with you a little bit more about what we're doing with CAS in just a minute. But I'm excited to share with you that the relationship with CAS is great. I'll give you a little bit of insight. Their banking team we've been able to participate on some retreats with them and some, they call it relationship managers, and kind of how they manage the relationships with the churches. We have been so encouraged by their heart for the church, how they're just driven to serve his church, and they see it as a calling, and it's encouraged us. I mean, we left a company that was led by faithful believers, and we've joined a company where we've just been challenged to continue to grow and press on to serve the church, which has been great. I shared with you, I get to spend some time with the board, and have been to a number of the board meetings and spent time with the board of CAS. Those conversations and relationships have been great. They actually have looped us into their own local churches and where they're involved, and we've had some great conversations. And so I just want to share with you, just from a leadership perspective, from the banking team's perspective, it feels like home. We've only been here 6 months, but it feels like home. So that's exciting. We talked a lot at Summit, and we heard from you a lot at Summit. Great feedback on innovation, and also a desire for us to continue to invest in stability and things that provide predictability and reliability and stability. And so we've invested in new ways to approach testing. And we've increased our budget for testing. We've brought on staff for that. So we're excited to continue to grow and mature as a software company. Adam will share a little bit more about that, but that's where we spent a fair amount of time this year, especially since Summit, if that's the last time that we were with you. We launched TouchPoint Giving in October. We had our first churches kind of go live in November, December. We're grateful for that. Again, it's not something that we're making, I mean, it's not a requirement to be on our system, but we just hope that we earn the right to work together with you. We've been blown away by the response. We're approaching 100 churches that right out of the gate have expressed interest. Many of them have already gone through kind of the process of onboarding. As you probably imagine, most are, a lot are waiting until Q1 to get through the holidays. Oh, there's my dog. Look at that. But we're grateful that launched, and it launched so quickly. So overall, the last 6 months has been really good. We just, like you, finished our budgeting process, or actually not, I mean, many of you probably did, but you're wrapping up your calendar years, if nothing else. But just to give you a little bit of like behind the scenes look at what it looks like for us, we put together kind of our dream budget for going into this first full year of budgeting for TouchPoint, and presented it to the board. And it was actually presented to the leadership team, the CEO, the CFO, and them. And it included some increased expenses for areas where we felt like would benefit and bless the church and benefit and bless our team. And the response back from the leadership team and ultimately the board was approval. I was fully expecting, are we recording this? I was fully expecting a little bit of maybe, pressure to grow faster, or pressure to, can you cut any expenses? They asked some great questions, and then they approved it as is. So hopefully that gives you some insight into how we're working together with our leadership team here. That's a quick flyby from behind the scenes. The last thing I'll share, Hayley, do you want to try sharing your screen again? I didn't seem to have, it didn't pop up. I have two slides that I'm going to share with you from a marketing retreat that we did. We've been tracking a lot of the metrics that drive us and kind of why we do what we do. And so we did 2 exercises, and I'll share these 2. The first one, it's called the Golden Pyramid. For those of you that met Kurian at Summit, he is a great thinker. He's kind of our outsourced chief marketing officer. Hayley leads marketing, and Morgan on our leadership team is super involved in marketing. But Kurian's our kind of outsourced chief marketing officer. He's fantastic. If you don't know him, I encourage you to get to know him. But he walked us through this exercise and said, if TouchPoint didn't exist tomorrow, why would it matter? Who would care? How would it impact the world? And so we went through and we kind of looked at the Simon Sinek's why, how, what concept. And so I'm just going to read this to you. I know you can read, but I just want to verbalize it. I think we all exist so we can, grow the kingdom, make disciples, all of that. But to really, looking at why TouchPoint, how does software fit into it? TouchPoint exists to make people known in the church. How do we do it? We do it by helping churches engage people at every touch point. And then what do? We do that through a people-centric church management software company that grows with your church. So for us, a lot of what that tells us is that it focuses around people and finding meaningful touch points to the church, connecting them with their local church. We were talking about our key metrics. Like if you were to boil down to our key metrics that drive our company, I think for a lot of software companies, it might be churn or it might be revenue growth. For us, go ahead and go to the next slide, Hayley. For us, this is kind of a North Star metric, which Morgan our leadership team was having a conversation and Morgan asked, he's like, if we had one metric, what is it? And we started talking through what that looks like or what that means. And this is it. It's really simple for us. It's lives connected to his church. I mean, it's what gets us up. It's what makes us want to jump out of bed and not hit the snooze button. So I know that, that it probably does for you too. You probably, it's probably why you do what you do, but we're grateful that we get to do it. So those are just a little bit of insight on what we've been up to. I'm going to hand it off to, I think, Adam. Am I looking at that right?
Yep.
Adam.
All right. Thank you, Ross. So obviously this was an exciting year for me. I joined TouchPoint. I joined into the first quarter of this year. So it's been a very, very busy and exciting, 9 months or so. But, I can share after like 28 years in software development, it really feels like home because we're really combining, my profession of software development with my faith and being able to serve the church and stuff. So it's been an awesome team to join this year. Had a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun coming up too. So I do see some faces that were at Summit, or some names anyway. And if you were there and you saw my infrastructure plan, so you'll know that we have a bunch of projects that we have planned, mainly around accelerating our reliability, our scalability as we've grown. We want to make sure that we are fitting our growth to the churches that are coming on. So we've listened to feedback. We've done some reprioritization, and we've really accelerated a couple of the major projects that we had that I presented there that we have in flight. So the key ones are serverless computing, which is the Azure Functions. This is a much more scalable solution, one of the best out there, used by like Netflix, Microsoft, people like that, as well as Docker deployment, both of which are, the goal is to aid in scaling faster so that, as new churches come on, we are able to react very quickly, to all high availability needs. Ticketing, we had an awesome ticketing season this year. We handled, I believe, more tickets than we have in the past ever. So things are in flight. I think Q1 we'll have some of our projects really coming on board. We've been working on them for a couple months now, and they'll go live in Q1. Speaking of Q1, so 2023, our main emphasis this year is going to be on stability, reliability, and scalability in general. So obviously the new infrastructure that I just mentioned is a big part of that, and as well as some of the other projects that'll take a little bit longer towards the end of the year to come online. But the other major thing that goes along with this stability and reliability is what Ross touched on. And we've been working on improving the QA process, just enhancing it more than a full revamp. Added some new internal procedures. We're starting those kind of this month. In fact, investing in some automated testing. We'll be bringing that on next year sometime. That's more of an investment in time and resources than money. Automated testing is hard, but it's very valuable, and we recognize that. We've heard some feedback from churches. We're also working on a new architecture, and the new mobile app that Ross mentioned is completely done in the new architecture, and it is much more testable. It's easier to automate testing, so we're going to be able to really bring in anything new that we develop is really going to be set up for this new emphasis on stability and reliability, or new enhancement to our stability and reliability. We're also, like Ross mentioned, bringing on new QA resources. We've invested getting some testers that really know TouchPoint, that we know see things, through a critical eye to make sure that we catch as many bugs as possible, as many feature omissions as possible. Because sometimes it's not a bug, but it's a church says, oh, it would have been a little bit better if we did this. Well, we'll have very experienced, faces taking a look at this and really pinpointing where we could do better, where we could make enhancements, as well as just general, improvements to TouchPoint. So one of the last, I guess, major thing to mention is in the last, I guess, about 2 months, we've been working hard, as Ross mentioned, bringing in the Give technology and knowledge from Give, integrating that as TouchPoint Giving. So we've completed phase 1, have churches live. There's a little more to do. There's a couple more phases, but it is 100% live with multiple churches. And I believe Morgan, founder of Give and now a member of the TouchPoint leadership team, is going to tell us a little bit more about that.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. I haven't been on enough of these webinars, so I don't know how this works. Maybe Hayley can tell me, but I just have to point out that Anna Miller said that she has 9 trees inside her house. She's like, in one of the questions. So I thought Hayley was killing it at 5, and here Anna has 9. So I just had to point that out.
New goals for me.
New goals, exactly. The gauntlet's been dropped. I love it. So hello, everyone. Of course, Merry Christmas. I think I've met a lot of you on this call, but for those that I haven't, honestly would love to give me a call, would love to get to know you, hear what you're doing with your church, and all that kind of stuff. I'm a little bundled up because we actually here in Michigan are expecting between 8 and 30 inches of snow over the next 48 hours now. So I got my Christmas duds on for a reason, I guess. Like Adam said, I'm the founder of Give. We've been with the TouchPoint team now for 6 months, and I know Ross said it, but I just can't imagine that, these two companies coming together could have went any better. These guys have been an absolute pleasure to get to know, to work with, and their heart for the church amazes me. I know, like Ross said, that they had apprehensions about Cass and Give and everything, but of course we had that same thought. And I don't think I say it enough that just the team has been incredible to get to know and work with. So thank you all. More than anything today, though, I really wanted to take the time and to kind of thank those people that Ross was talking about, and Adam, the early adopters of TouchPoint Giving. These churches have been a huge, huge help in getting this rolled out so that the rest of us can benefit from this down the road. Once again, as Ross pointed out, we're in conversations with close to 100 different partner churches right now, which is just unbelievable. So thank you everyone that's been allowing us to have these conversations and pick up the phone and talk through different ideas. It's just been a huge help. I kind of really wish Eric Smith could have been on this call as well. Eric is who is leading the charge with our partner churches. And if you haven't had a chance to get to know Eric, I'd love to make an introduction. He's just a great guy. He came over with us on the Give side. He's been phenomenal. So if you haven't met him, let us know and we'll definitely make an intro. And then one last item before I turn it over to, I believe, Chris, is from the beginning, once again, we said that we're not forcing anybody to move from their current provider to TouchPoint Giving. And I just want to take this opportunity to truly double down on that. We always want what's right for the churches. Our goal is to create a system that has enough value in it that you at least want to come talk to us, check it out, and see what we provide. So we have so much that we're currently working on. I'm excited to show you over the next 12 months what we have coming down the pipe. So stay tuned. And once again, thank you, truly, for those that have allowed us to have those conversations so far. And with that, it's all yours, Chris.
All right. So those that follow or know kind of our schedule for webinars know that typically we try to reserve the last month of a quarter for new feature webinars, with the exception of December, where we do our Fireside chat. And so because this is typically the time that you hear about new features, we wanted to share something that we talked a lot about at Summit, but not everybody was at Summit and got a chance to see. And we are really excited about it. And it is what we're calling our mobile app 3.0. There's a lot of other things we've done this quarter. We will talk about those in more of an extended new features webinar at the end of Q1. So stay tuned for that, or you can read about them on our blog and our documentation. I'm only going to talk about mobile app right now. And you might be wondering, and Ross, Adam, maybe Hayley, we probably needed to come up with a better name, but I don't know. Mobile app 3.0 is stuck. So you might be wondering, what is 3.0? We call our existing app 2.0, and there was a version before that that we call 1.0. So that's kind of where it came about. And you might even be thinking, well, why do you even need a completely new version? We think we're very proud of the 2.0 app. We've built a lot of really great tools, and the tools are very useful. But as Ross said, we are really trying to connect people to your church and help them be known. And so tools can do a certain element of that, but we wanted our app to be more engaging. We wanted our app to have reasons for people to go between Sunday and Sunday and really engage and have a chance to get connected to the church in new ways that tools or just information don't really help you do. And so we partnered with a number of churches, that some of which are here on this call, to get feedback. We've taken feedback from all of our churches over the years, and we've come up with some really great ideas that I shared a lot of details with on at our summit in September. But I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here, and I'm going to actually show you not our beta version, because it's still in alpha right now. It's not out to any churches. We plan to be in beta with some churches in Q1. Okay, so I wanted to show you how far along this has come, and give you kind of a glimpse of some of the exciting things that are coming with 3.0. So let me share my screen here. All right, are people seeing my mobile app? Oh,
Yes.
There we are.
okay.
I feel like we needed a drum roll there.
So, as I said, we are trying to make our app more engaging. And when we looked at apps that were really engaging and drew you in on a daily basis, they were more of a feed style app. And so that is what you're seeing here. And I'm going to explain some of this. We're still planning to provide the same great tools, but those will be more either in the hamburger menu. And some of them you see here, like directory, I'll click on real quick, has actually gotten some big enhancements. We've combined people search in directory into one place so that it's a scrolling list, and you can search on that. Ticket scanning's done. There's others that are coming and in the works. You'll see here at the top here that there's a much more granular and much more robust notification center. And the other tools would be found under your profile. And so in the upper left-hand corner, where you see my little hero image, when I click on that, that is your profile. And some of this is already done, but some of it's just not even in this version. But you can see like prayer requests, the ministries I'll get to in a minute isn't showing your profile where you can actually edit your information. There's going to be status badges, your involvements, task and notes. You'll be able to actually see historical notes. You'll be able to click and actually add a task or a note about somebody. And we've really done a lot of work on the design here to make this super easy, super clean, super simple to use. So a lot of the same great features and benefits that you have grown to love and expect and have been very useful in our 2.0 are going to be in the 3.0. Not all of them will be in an early phase. Some of them will be in a later phase. But let me get into the feed here. So a new thing here is that there's going to be a new involvement type called ministries to follow, where you can actually follow ministries. And the cool thing about it is, based on what you know about somebody, you can either you can dump people into a ministry, or you can use the process builder to automatically add people to ministries to follow. And then somebody could choose to opt out, or somebody that maybe wasn't automatically added could choose to opt in. And what that does is it's going to create a dynamic customizable feed for that person. Right now, you're just seeing some posts that a person has posted. There's another ability where people will actually be able to post things. This is an optional setting that you could turn on or off, where people could post things and you can follow people. There's stories, and you saw an example of that. This is a story I posted of our baby boy. He's almost not even a baby anymore now that he's 1, but him playing with a latest toy that one of our friends passed down to us. Prayer request is a feature, and you'll be able to actually see people praying for each other and giving encouragement. Giving is getting a whole makeover, where this image right now is not scaling properly. These are some of the things that we're going to fix. But these are impact cards that can actually be personalized to a person based on what you know about them. So if you know somebody really cares about missions or children's ministry or X, Y, and Z, you can create impact cards and then tie them to status flags. And if that person has a status flag, then they would have those impact cards, so that when somebody goes to make a gift, they can be inspired for deeper levels of generosity. The same great tools around being able to see your history and statements, or clicking to make a gift opens up the giving page in a more in-app experience that's really great. Gather is actually resources and media, which we're changing some of the you'll be able to customize the nomenclature on this. Right now in this test app, it's being called Gather or Gathering. But it's where you can pull in media and resources from our newly built resources section. So all of the media and resources is going to be powered from the TouchPoint application, as opposed to a separate mobile portal. There's a lot more here that we've done that I can't even show you, because it's just it hasn't been pushed up to my phone to be able to test yet. But there's things around events, pushing questions. It ties into our new process builder. Other tools and functionality around task and notes and status badges that are in there. And we are taking each of these new tools that were existing, and we're adding new functionality or redesigning them as we go. So things like attendance are going to be even better in the new mobile app. Things like pre-check-in, we're trying to make that look better and easier to use. So we're really excited. The team has been really hard at work. So Adam and his whole team, the product team has been very helpful. We've had some partners, some third-party partners that have helped us with some design or some development that have been amazing. Just a huge shout out. It's been a huge team effort, and we are really excited to be showing this off in the new year, getting some churches on a beta version. And over the next year, you'll see a lot of updates on this. And we hope it's an option that everybody can be able to upgrade to in 2023. So just wanted to share that exciting update of what's coming. I'm sure there's some questions around what that rollout schedule is going to be. We're going to be doing this in phases. And the way we plan to communicate it is that we will say, okay, phase 1 is available, and this is what phase 1 includes. And if your church is happy to take that version that might not include all the features, but know that not every church uses every feature in the current mobile app, you're welcome to sign up for that phase. And there'll be some separate kind of hand-holding webinars or Zoom calls to do that. And just watch out for those updates. And throughout the year, by next summit, our goal is to have all of the different tools rebuilt, and the opportunity for every church to sign up and move over to the new version. So it'll be an easy update that will just push out to over your existing app. So it's super easy, and more information coming in 2023. But thanks for letting me share that right now. And so, Hayley, I think you got some other exciting kind of announcements to share before the end of the year. So I'll turn it over to you, and thank you, everyone.
All right. Yes, so we also have another new feature, and I think this one is actually going to catch just about everyone by surprise. And this is a custom label designer. So for your check-in labels, you will be able to create and customize your check-in label. So each label, from the name tag to the location label, the security label, guest labels, and so forth. And what's even greater is that you're going to be able to specify by the check-in profile which labels you want to use. And so that's going to give you a lot of flexibility for your different campuses, your different ministries, your different events. They can all have different labels. So thank you so much to the churches that have contributed to this project. And so because of y'all, this is a possibility. So we really thank you for that. We are looking forward to getting it into everyone's hands. We are hoping to be able to roll this out in January. And once we do roll it out, we're going to have a fun creative label competition going on. So we will announce more about what that competition will look like around January, February. And then for the next announcement, I'm going to share my screen. Really excited to say that our summit registration is now open. So you can head to summit.touchpointsoftware.com to get all the details here. We are excited to host, I think most everybody knows now, and Ross said it earlier, we are going to be in Chicago. We are going to be in the heart of downtown Chicago. Our host church is Park Community Church, and they are on the north side of, well, the campus that we will be at is on the north side of the city. And if you haven't been to Summit before, please do check out this video. It's from last year. It was a great time, so I hear anyway. And then we've got a great speaker lineup as well. Just really great people with such a passion for working with the churches and advancing the kingdom. So we're really excited to have all of our speakers that we're going to have join us. So we've got our schedule here as well, so do check it out. You will be able to enjoy some Chicago style deep dish pizza. That's what we're going to be doing for our welcome dinner. We are also going to be doing a river cruise. I've personally been on this specific river cruise, and it's wonderful. It's just a beautiful cruise. And we will be staying right in the heart of the Magnificent Mile as well. So walking distance to everything that we need to get to in terms of networking. And we have early bird pricing going on right now through the end of January. So go ahead and sign up. And then, of course, we have any questions that you might want to get answers to down here at the bottom. But we look forward to hosting you in Chicago. And Ross, with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to you.
Sounds good. We have one more announcement that I'm going to actually hand it over to Morgan for before you hand it back to me when we're done.
Perfect.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So to pigtail on the summit conversation. This year, obviously, was my first year at Summit down in Austin, and it was an awesome time. But my biggest takeaway from it was just how great of a community we have here. And it was just so good to get to know so many of you. But my big takeaway was, how can we take this community and make it last more than just 4 days of the year? So we started piloting a new online user community. We're using the Discord app for this. I want to thank everyone who's volunteered to help us pilot this and start working on it to get it right. But I'm excited to say that next week we will be sending out an email with a link where everyone else can also join the community. And this also goes back to what Ross said earlier, I think, with the North Star, that we want our people to be known. And we have so many great people on this call and within, on the TouchPoint system, that if we can help each other, I think it's going to just make it so much better. So as we'd love you to join that. Let us know what you think. Let me know if there's a way that you think that we can improve that online community. I am all ears, so please be vocal and just let me know what we can do. And with that, Ross.
Great. Yeah, but we've had a limited number of folks in the community just to test it. And so it's already been vetted and tested. So if you were a part of that, thank you. It was a very small group. Mm-hmm. But when you get there, there's already, a lot of places where hopefully you can find to plug in for the things that you're looking for, and for a community of other folks that are walking in your shoes, but maybe just in a different zip code. So just as we wrap, we were hoping to wrap early. It's 2:45. So we'll give you 15 minutes back in your day. But I just want to say our prayer for you is that you'd find rest and recharge in this holiday season, that the people that are within your influence would follow you as you follow the Lord, that your ministries would be powerful and effective. So that's our prayer for you. And we're grateful for the good work that you do. So thank you for being a partner of TouchPoint. Thank you for the ministry that you do in your local communities and drawing lives into his church. And then thanks for making time for us literally days before Christmas. I know that everybody probably has things on their list. So thank you so much. And on behalf of all of our team, Merry Christmas. Thanks, y'all.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.